Hello, Assalamu alaikum. How are you, students? Are you good? Are you in good condition? I think Almighty Allah will bless you, all of you, including your family. Okay? Hopefully, you are in the best. Today, I will discuss the time series which belongs to first paper, the seventh chapter of first paper, and this is my second lecture. This is my second lecture of time series. Second lecture of time series. Okay, so let me give some few seconds to sharing my slides. Okay, so today we'll discuss the different method of measuring trend. Different method of measuring trend. There are 4 methods. If anybody asked you, or if in MCQ there is given how many method of measuring trend, then you will answer 4 method. The freehand or graphical method, semi-average method, moving average method, and the method of least square. And the method of least square. It is clear to know you that the method of least square is not belongs to your syllabus. The method of least square is not belongs to your syllabus. So we don't discuss about this method, and we also not to solve any maths of least square method. But this is a method for finding trend, measuring trend. So this one is a method. So you should write how many method. If anybody asked, or in MCQ it is given how many method, you should write 4 methods. Method is 4, but one method is not belongs to the syllabus of intermediate in SSC exam. This method is not belongs to your syllabus, so we will not practice this method. But this is a method. You have to know the method and how many method. There are 4 method you will write. Though it is not belongs to your syllabus, but it is still it is a method of measuring trend. So there are 4 methods of measuring trend. First one is freehand or graphical method, semi-average method. Number 2. Number 3 is moving average method, and number 4 is method of least square. Now, what is freehand method or graphical method? From the name, it is clear to know. It is very clear to you that for solving this math, you need a graph paper. In the graph paper, we will solve it. Okay, just you will put the data on graph paper, and this is the graphical method. In graphical method, you can know the trend of the given data. So in graphical method, first you will take a graph paper, and you will take OX is x-axis and OY be y-axis, and in x-axis you will put the time or year, that is time. In y-axis you will put the given data corresponding to time. Then for each pair of data or values, you will get a point is for each pair of values. Then you will join the point with the scale. You will join the points with the scale. This is called trend line. After joining this line, probably you will get a curved line. You will get a curved line. This curved line is called the trend by the graphical method. So what is written in your slide? In this method, the value of time series data are taken on x-axis and the corresponding value of y are plotted on y-axis. Very simple. In x-axis, you will put the value of x, value of time or year, especially year is given, always given, and the corresponding values of that particular years on y-axis. For each pair of values, we will get a point. Thus, we get several points for different pairs. Then we draw a straight line on freehand through the point by using scale, not freehand. By using scale, you will join the points. So it refers as the usual tendency of the point. This particular distance between the line and x-axis is called the trend line that particular time. So this curved line is called the trend line. Okay, this is very easy. And in graph paper, you should write the scale in how many smallest square in x-axis you have taken 1 unit, in y-axis how many smallest square you have taken 1 unit. Okay, in graph paper of right top corner of the graph paper, you should write the scale. This is called scale. And after drawing the graph, you will write the description also in blank paper or your in copy, blank copy, or your answer script, you should write the description. So for writing this graphical method or freehand method, smoothing method, you should draw the figure first. You should give the figure on graph paper. Okay, then you will write the description. Now the merits and demerits, that is advantage and the disadvantage of freehand method or graphical method. Now merits. It is easiest method, very simplest method and the shortest method. We can get idea about it easily within a short period of time. Number one. Number two, there is no calculation except plotting the points on graph paper. You will just plot the points on graph paper. There is none of calculation. There is no calculation. Okay, you will just plot the point on graph paper and join the point by scale. It is used to find any trend. Any trend it is used for finding. Demerits. Demerits is different researcher may get different trend from the same time series. By taking the scale of different scale, different researcher or different writer may get different trend line by using the different scale. Say if I take 2 smallest square equal to 1 unit in x-axis, another one take the 5 smallest square in x-axis, then their trend line may be different. That is why it is very less applicable. It is very risky to say for focused unless the researcher is not highly competent and experienced. If the researchers are not highly competent or experienced, then it is we cannot get the focused or we cannot get the future value for this. It is in case of discernible measurement, this method is not applicable. Okay, this is freehand method, advantage and disadvantage. Now semi-average methods. Semi-average method is the next method of calculating trend. This is the second method and this is the very easy method and very important method. This is the combination of graphical method and average method. Graphical method and average method, that's why it is called the semi-average method. In this method, we will use graph. You have to use the calculator for getting average. First, you will observe how many years are given, how many rows are given. If it is, then you count, say number of 5 years are given. Then you exclude the middle one, that is third one, and find the average of first two and last two. Say 6 years are given, then you will take the average of first 3 years and last 3 years. Say the 7 years are given, then like to our first one, that is you exclude the middle one, middle year, that is 7 years, that is you exclude the fourth one, then you find out the average of first 3 and the last 3 and exclude the fourth one, that the first 3, last 6 and the fourth one 7. So by this way you will find out the average. Whose average? The data which are given corresponding to the years. And where will you write the data? If you find out the 3 years of average, then you will write the average value according to the third year, second year. And the last half, you will write the sixth year, okay? So let's see what is written in your slide. In this method, time series is divided into 2 parts. That I have told earlier, you have to divide it into 2 parts. If the number of observation is even, then it is divided into 2 parts. And if odd, then it is divided into 2 parts, except middle one. Then we find the average of each half part. We plot the midpoint of the year of each half on x-axis and the corresponding average value on y-axis. And 2 points are joined by a straight line and extend it both the direction. So after plotting 2 average value, you will get 2 values on 2 different years corresponding to different years. Then we can join these 2 points and extend it in both the direction, in upward and downward also. This is called trend line by the method of semi-average. This method is very important. We can get the idea about the values of the previous years. We can get the idea about the values of the next years. Okay, so the production of rice of different year, like the last year is 2015, you have given. Then you can get the idea about the production of rice of 2030 also by this method. Whenever I solve this maths, I will explain it clearly. Okay, this is theory. When I go to the solve the maths, then it will be very easy for you. And this method is very important in your exam. This semi-average method may be set. One must be set from semi-average method, especially number D or C, anyone. So in this method, you have to first identify how many numbers are given, whether it is odd or even. If odd, then you exclude the middle one and get the average of the first half and the last half. And you will put the average value on the middle, corresponding to the middle year. And if it is even, then you will just take the average of first half and last half and put the average value of half of the years. Okay. Then you join the 2 points given what is you have got in 2 points on graph paper and extend it in both the direction, upward and downward. Okay. Now what are the advantages of semi-average method? It is the very easily useful and easy to understand. Trend will be same for different researchers in same time series. Okay, since it is average, so average point will be same of all researchers or all any person. Always the calculation is same. It does not depend on assumption. Okay, it is not depend upon assumption. It will just justified by calculation, justified by drawing. Demerits. Trend line is a straight line, though actual trend line is not same. Arithmetic mean is affected by extreme values. So if there is any extreme values of any half of time series data, then actual trend line is not be found. This is the main disadvantage. If any value is very high or very low or very extreme, then it may affect the average. So in this case, we will not get the actual trend line. So I think it is very easy for you, and I will solve the maths also. Moving average method. Moving average method is an easy and useful method in removing the changeability and differentiating the trend of the variable. This method is also very easy. This is the theorem. If I give an example when I solve the math of this method, this will be very easy for you. In this method, arithmetic mean from first, second, and third up to n years is determined. Usually, in your class, you will get 3 years moving average method or 4 years moving average method. In the exam, usually 3 years moving average method or 4 years moving average method will be set. Okay. This average represent the value of secular trend. If the average of first, second, third up to 3 years is determined one after another, then that is called 3 years moving average. Similarly, definition of 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. years moving average can also be given. Here, unit of time numbers 3, 4, 5, etc. are called times years. It is odd, then average will be put in the middle of the years. If it is even, so if the 3 years moving average method, then first, second, third, the average will be put in the second one, that is middle one. If the 4 years moving average method, then first, second, third, and fourth, then average will be put in the between the years of second and third. Between the years of second and third, because there are 4 years, first, second, third, fourth. So what is the average year? Not 2, not 3. Average year is the average of second and third. So you will put the values or the average on the middle of second and third. If 4 years moving average method will be calculated. If 3 years moving average method you will have to be calculated, then you will put the average on the corresponding years of second, first, second, third, that is second. Okay. And in moving average method, first years, average of first years and third, last years will not be given. Okay, you have to exclude the first year and the last years. By this way, we will solve the moving average method. And in this moving average method, after finding the average, you should put the values on graph paper, like semi-average method. In semi-average method, you have to also put the values of graph paper, but in semi-average method, only 2 points will be joined. In moving average method, several points we can get, and we will join the points of graph paper by the scale. Okay, then we may get a curve line. This is called the trend line from moving average method. So these 3 method is included in your syllabus of ACC examination. Least square method is not belongs to your syllabus. Okay, least square method is not belongs to your syllabus. Now, fit a trend line to the following data by the freehand method. Data is given the year 1992, production of sugar in 1,000 tons in 20,000. In 1992, 20,000, 1993, 22,000, 1994, 24,000, 1995, 21,000, 1996, 23,000, 1997, 25,000, 1998, 23,000, 1999, 25,000, 2000, 25,000. Okay, this data is given and you have to show this data on graph paper. This is called the fitting of trend line on freehand method. So if you solve this method, you will put the years. It is not clear actually, it is just, I've copied it. You will just putting the years on x-axis and the values on y-axis. Say in 1992, you will put the x-axis and the production in y-axis. For 1992, you will put 20. In 1993, you will put 22. 1994, you will put 24. In 1995, you will put 21. Then you join. Okay, you will join and you will get a curve line. You will get a curve line. This is called the trend line. Okay, this is called the trend line. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.